All right, what's up, guys? Skylar here. Sorry I've been gone for the past couple of weeks. I've been really busy and not much has been going on in the NFL world, right? The Colts signed Stephon Gilmore. I'm not over the top about it. It's a decent deal. He's 32 years old, so that's a little bit of a downside. Is we could be seeing some major step backs from him, especially with his injuries from last year. He said he's over the quad thing. 2 years, $22 million. He's definitely an upgrade over Rocky Scene. We could even potentially move him to free safety if he takes too far of a step back. Like it's okay, right? You can't be mad about getting Yannick Ngakoue and then upgrading Rocky Scene. The big thing that happened today is 49ers Deebo Samuel demanded a trade. Now, that's absolutely huge, right? But let me go ahead and crush them hopes and dreams about Deebo Samuel coming to Indianapolis. It's not happening. Just like Tyrann Mathieu to Indianapolis is not happening. Right? It's going to cost way too much draft capital and way too much cap space for Deebo Samuel to be here. And especially bidding against teams like the New York Jets, who are going to sell the farm for Deebo Samuel because they've been trying to sell the farm all offseason for a superstar or star wide receiver to headline their offense and really give Zach Wilson a real weapon, right? Because Corey Davis isn't that guy. Let's be... As Colts fans, we all know Corey Davis ain't that guy. And the Jets know Corey Davis is also not that guy, that it has to be one of these proven guys. So still look to be sitting at 42, still look to take a wide receiver at 42. I'm still on George Pickens. He's my number 2 receiver of the draft. I think George Pickens is absolutely dynamite, right? If we get George Pickens at 42, that's the steal of the draft. Dude's absolutely insane. He had the ACL or Achilles tear. But he's recovered tremendously from it. We saw that in the snaps in the games he played last season where he came on the field and was a big impact immediately. And George Pickens is amazing. If George Pickens isn't there, I would prefer Drake Bell over Jahan Dotson. There's a lot of overhype on Jahan Dotson, and a lot of people giving him the T.Y. If I can talk, T.Y. Hilton and Tyreek Hill comparisons, but this dude does not run deep routes. He doesn't run them well. Jahan Dotson is a slot receiver, and that's what he is. Like, people need to come to terms with that. He's a slot receiver. That's what he is. He gets pushed. He gets easily pushed to the sidelines when he's running streaks and posts from the outside. We obviously need a deep threat wide receiver. We need to be able to punish. If we had Deebo Samuel and Michael Pittman Jr. on the field, I feel we would see a whole lot of stacked boxes because Michael Pittman Jr. and Deebo Samuel, I know this is kind of a little all over the place, but it's just kind of how I put my thoughts together. Because I do these videos very freeform. But Deebo Samuel and Michael Pittman Jr., they provide a lot of the same thing, right? They're yak it up guys. They're physical guys. The only upside is Michael Pittman is a bigger, more physical receiver than Deebo. And sources are now saying that if you trade for Deebo Samuel, you're not getting the same Deebo Samuel that was the 49ers offense the last few seasons. He does not want to play the wide back position anymore where he's this running back wide receiver hybrid. He doesn't want to do that anymore. It's better long-term for his career if he doesn't do that anymore, because he's taking punishments and hits that he doesn't want to be taking that's going to shorten his career. And if he switches to just being a wide receiver, he's going to extend his career tremendously by not taking all this punishment from these bigger linebackers and D linemen that he's been having to go up against in San Francisco. I honestly don't blame him at all for wanting to make that switch. The price tag that's going to come with Deebo Samuel, the cap hit, is going to be crazy. He's probably looking at Tyreek Hill money. He's looking at least at Christian Kirk money, right? Like that, he's elite, and he's $25 million plus is probably what you're looking to pay Deebo Samuel, which is crazy. Like let's think about that. Like 3-4 years ago, $25 million plus was quarterback money. Like that's what we were playing. That's what we were paying the quarterbacks. Absolutely crazy. So I'm sure a lot of you guys that watch my videos probably watch Kent Sterling. I love Kent Sterling. He's a great voice for the community of the Indianapolis Colts. He knows a lot what's going on. He's really insightful. I like him a lot. So if you guys watch me, I'm assuming you're watching him and you've seen his 10 reasons why Deebo Samuel's not coming to the Indianapolis Colts. And I just want to reiterate some of that. Like, we don't have the draft capital to trade for Deebo Samuel. We don't got it. It's not there. We have a second round pick, highest pick we have is pick number 42. That's not going to reel in Deebo Samuel. Tyreek Hill just went for 5 picks. Like 3 of them are high round picks, first, second rounders, right? We're not trading that, especially with Matt Ryan, who's going to be out of here in a year or two potentially. We need to be looking at quarterbacks, especially if we don't draft Brock Purdy in day 2 or day 3. Especially if we don't get Brock Purdy. I'm going to be real. I think Brock Purdy's amazing. I think Brock Purdy's the guy. There's a likelihood like we just don't draft him, and I'm going to be severely heartbroken, even though I know that's a very strong likelihood we don't get Brock Purdy. I'm going to be severely heartbroken that we don't get him. But we need to be looking at next year's draft class for quarterbacks as well. Never stop scouting because you never know who's going to be there. Spencer Rattler could be at South Carolina, completely turn around, be number 1 pick, and be the number 1 quarterback taken next year still. Because Bryce Young's got kind of a weaker arm. DJ Uiagalelei, he's potentially going to be benched this year at Clemson. If he doesn't perform, they have a very Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence situation coming up in their season, and we could see DJ Uiagalelei get benched. And so these are a lot of guys that are potentially coming out that could be on the Colts board next year that needs to be watched for. And we need a first-round pick next year in case we have one of those guys. And another big reason why we shouldn't trade for Deebo Samuel is there's wide receivers going in the second, third round, day 2 wide receivers all the time now are becoming stars and superstars, and colleges are just churning out receiver talent. Kind of like how we've seen running backs become devalued over the past few years from running back talent just being so abundant and easily replaceable. The same thing's starting to happen with wide receivers now. And so it's just not worth trading that much to get a star wide receiver when you can just draft one, especially when you have talent that could be sitting there at pick 42 like George Pickens, who is going to be one of those star receivers. That's all I want to talk about today. Peace out, guys.